what? 566 on his attack, bro? What are you doing? Get some protein in your diet. What is going on there? Hey, thanks so much for checking out the channel. If you're curious about any other hero in Empires and Puzzles, you can view my website at anchorgame.com. There you will find I've graded every single hero with a calibrated team of graders. This resource will always be free. Thinking about supporting the hero grades and the breakdown videos? You're welcome to donate. Otherwise, feel free to share this resource with a friend. I have my exclusive line group called Anchor Cove, where you gain access to myself and tons of other experienced players with on-demand information and resources. If that piques your interest, all that information is on the opening page of my website with a short video. Let me dive into today's hero breakdown. Hey, thanks so much for checking out the channel. Today we're going to be doing a brand new hero breakdown on Boss Wolf. Looks like this dude's a big fan of roses. I don't know if that's play on Beauty and the Beast, but here we are. He's got 566 on his attack, bro. What are you doing? Get some protein in your diet. What is going on there? I've never seen such a low 566. Is that real life? 566 on his attack, 826 on his defense, and 1524 on his health. Overall, statistically, that is the worst attack power I've ever seen probably in my life. But defensively, man can take a beating. Looks like he's not too much of a ferocious wolf after all. He is running at very, very slow speed. He is part of the Fables of Grim Forest, which means he gives you a bonus between 2, 3, 4, 5 heroes, getting anywhere between 3% and 15% attack, and 5% and 20% defense. The caster and nearby allies get plus 24% mana generation for 4 turns. This effect can't be dispelled. All enemies get minus 34% mana generation for 4 turns. The caster and nearby allies counterattack with 115% of the damage received for 4 turns. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. It is a free massive turn-based dark fantasy RPG. To try this game out, all you gotta do, go to the video description, click on the special links. You'll receive 100,000 silver and 1 free champion, Acolyte. This is only available for new players in the next 30 days, and all your treasure is waiting for you right over here. So, I remember when Boss Wolf was first released, he was one of just a couple of heroes that was running at very slow speed. People were kind of excited, we're like, wow, this could be running as a tank. And it's pretty crazy to see heroes now compared to what Boss Wolf was when he first came out. Just in comparison, you can see the hero like Teleria when she was first released at her minus 34% mana generation for 4 turns at average speed. Turns out pretty good, pretty ridiculous. Now she's been nerfed all the way down to 2 turns and 24% mana generation. So we do know that the mana generation part does impact everything. But now looking at things at very slow speed, is that really something that you're going to go ahead and switch over? Especially since now they've released the other very slow hero, Alfriki. I don't know. Unfortunately, my boy Boss Wolf, he's going down a little bit. He is part of the Druid class heroes, which means that Zemkeitha, potentially Vila after the new nerf, we'll see. There may be some availability. You also have Albric that could be taking up the emblems. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird class for him. When we look at his Titan grade, he is going to get a C grade on Titan, obviously, because 566 on the attack power is extremely pathetic. I don't know why they did that to him. I feel bad for the poor guy, but there is no way that you should ever put him on a Titan. Even the mana generation, it could be nice. Counterattacking, not that great. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. There's a lot better heroes that you could be using on your Titans. Don't waste that slot, because if he does fit into any slot on a Titan team, he would fit into the high tile damage slot, and obviously 566 is definitely not high at all. So he's going to get a C grade against Titans. I'm not seeing it. When we look at his offensive grade, he is going to get a B grade there. I think there is some usability, potentially people that are big fans of the counterattacking. I've talked about this with other heroes that counterattack. It almost seems like when you set up the counterattack, a lot of times it goes to the wings, it misses. So there is that element variable of things, but with him being at very slow speed, it doesn't really help out your other heroes a lot unless you're like crazy heavy into healing. and you're keeping everything alive. And at that point, I almost feel like you're kind of dirtling. You're just kind of hanging around. You're not really doing too much. You're just purposely extending out the match when you could just kill them. So I'm not a big fan of a very slow hero that is then activating counterattacking on nearby allies, because potentially they could be dead at that point. I almost want a very slow hero. When that's going off, it's going to be endgame. When you look at a hero like Alfreaky, when she goes off, like, the opponents feel it. This guy, on the other hand, at very slow speed, I'm not really seeing it too much unless you're extremely heavy in healing. You're keeping him alive, but again, at that point, it would just be better to have other heroes that would then just kill the opponent. So I look at that factor. He's going to get a B on offense. There is some playability there. When we look at his tank grade, this did get downgraded. It was an A grade. I did slightly bring it down to an A minus. There is definitely a factor of him being viable in the tank position, especially being that he has probably one of the best defensive stats with his defense and his health total. Stays alive for a very, 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 very long time. The unfortunate thing is that you're probably going to need him to be healed. He doesn't heal himself, so that does factor into a lot of different things. And then you're actually being too defensive by playing him, because then you're probably going to need another hero that is healing, and that really doesn't put a lot of pressure with this game being so fast. So I'm not a huge fan as far as his tank ability. Obviously, there is a factor there with the mana generation that's going to help out you and your nearby allies, and then also it's going to stink having the mana go down. But I just look at this hero as a very easy, liable hero that could, a liability to where he could just get dispelled very easily, especially at very slow. There's a lot of heroes that could dispel him, and you don't really need to plan your attack against him, because you could just plan it against the other heroes. So I'm not a huge fan. If you're going up against him on defense, make sure you bring a dispeller. Rock is in yellow as far as dispelling, but all the other colors, they have a decent amount of dispelling, and you can plan against the other flanking heroes rather than Boss Wolf himself. He's going to get an A minus grade though, because it could be a huge factor. He's going to be very annoying. He isn't going to die very easily. When we look at his flank grade, he is going to get a C grade there, obviously, because with him running at very slow speed, he's impacting him and the other heroes. It's not really going to be very useful. And then wing, that should probably be a C minus. He's really, really, really bad in the wing. Don't put him there at all. Counterattacking, it's not going to help out. Very slow. It's not going to impact the board. Don't do that. Defensively, he is going to get an overall grade of a B, just being that he does have a lot of usability potentially in the tank position. You can't plan around him, but I do see the appeal to put him there, especially with his defensive stats being so high. When we look at his weekly raid grade, he is going to get an A+ on rush attack. Reason being is now him running at very fast speed, impacting the mana, and on both sides, both your mana and their mana, definitely a big factor there. And the counterattacking, definitely a pretty cool hero that you could be using on the weekly raid grade. He is going to get an A+ grade there. When we look at his buff grade, he is going to get a B grade there. Obviously, it's going to be a huge help having the mana generation for your guys, and then also doing the counterattack. So those go into the buffs. That definitely plays into it. Huge factor there, though, is going to be him running at very, very slow speed. It's not going to help out too much. Could potentially be dying. Again, you're going to have to plan and use this guy accordingly by having a lot of heals to keep him alive before he goes off. There could be a factor there. I could see this going up into a B+, possibly an A-, but he does get dinged quite a bit for being at very slow speed. Not seeing it too much. When we look at his bloody battle grade, he is going to get a B grade there. Again, the biggest liability being at very slow speed, and you're not really killing the other heroes that fast being at very slow. So he's going to get an overall grade of a B. This was very close to a B-, I'll be perfectly honest with you, just because his Titan grade is really, really, really pathetic. That should be a D grade on Titan potentially. It's really bad. Offensively, he does have some usability, but I think his tank grade is what really pushes him to where he stays in that B range. I'm not an overall big fan of Boss Wolf in general. Possibly he could get a huge resurgence when they release the new war rules that are coming out. I could see that being a factor there, but overall, I'm not a big fan there. So thanks so much for checking out this channel, checking out this grade. Please make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on, and I'll see you on the next one.